Can you imagine the planet of work coming into the house of rest? Unstoppable workaholics. In last video we have discussed about Jupiter in the fourth house of the horoscope. In this video we are going to talk about the effects of Saturn in the fourth house of your horoscope. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic Astrology. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. And these videos will help you go further faster into Vedic astrological studies. And these videos will help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic astrology. If you have any question, add me on Instagram at Pramanik Astrology. I read all the DMs and I reply to all the DMs. If you have any question, you can also comment on the relevant videos. I read all the comments and I reply to all the comments. I'm waiting for you on YouTube comment section. Let's share the knowledge in the YouTube comment section. Saturn in the fourth house. Before we talk about Saturn in the fourth house as a conjunction, let us discuss what is Saturn. The first thing which comes to my mind when I think of Saturn is negativity and distrust, inability, restriction, and work. Saturn is a very serious planet. Saturn is all about that intelligent distrust. It has amazing critical and analytical skills. So Saturn is always having a distrust. Saturn cannot have a higher belief or belief beyond the logics, just like Jupiter. In a way, Saturn is a polar opposite to the Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Saturn is the planet of restriction. Jupiter is all about the positivity, abundance, and all that is good. And Saturn is the planet of restriction, scarcity, and all that is bad. Jupiter is all about the surplus, and Saturn is all about the scarce. Jupiter is all about the higher beliefs, and Saturn is all about the work, the real things. Jupiter is all about the knowledge and wisdom. And Saturn is all about the karma and actions. So these guys are polar opposite. We have discussed about Jupiter in the fourth house. Today we are going to talk about the Saturn in the fourth house. What is fourth house? We have discussed what is Saturn. Now let us discuss what is the fourth house. Fourth house is the netter. Fourth house is your grounding. It is the place on the earth on which you stand. Just below the earth is the netter, and that is the place for the fourth house. Fourth house is all about your grounding. Fourth house is all about your privacy. Fourth house is all about your devotion. Fourth house is all about the emotions. Fourth house is all about your home, your privacy, your innermost feelings, your most private life. Fourth house also signifies the duration of night, which is the most private time of our life. So in a day we go out and do the work. You may be an actor, you may be a politician, you may be working in a 9 to 5 job, whatever it may be. You just go out and work, and in the night you come home and it's all about yourself. Okay, so this is the core nature of the fourth house. Fourth house is also the signification for the mother. Fourth house signifies your mother. Fourth house is also about your roots. Fourth house is also about your ancestors and all about your lineage. Fourth house is the Moksha Trikona house. Fourth house is the house of your mother, your home, your homeland, and all the significations for the Cancer sign, because in the natural horoscope, fourth house is ruled by Cancer. So now let us discuss what happens when you have Saturn in the fourth house. Can you imagine the planet of work coming into the house of rest, unstoppable workaholics. When a planet of work comes into the house of rest, it makes them unstable. These guys are never at rest. They're always into something. They are always doing something, even if they have finished their work and even if they are sleeping or they are just on the end of their day, still they have the plans for the tomorrow. Okay, I have a meeting tomorrow, I'm going to put these points, I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish this. All these things are going on in the mind, even when he is into the fourth house area, like he is into the night, he is in a bedroom, he is about to sleep, still in the mind he is into work. That's Saturn in the fourth house. Saturn in the fourth house makes the person distrustful. Fourth house is the house of your emotions, and Saturn is the planet of distrust. So these people cannot trust and share their emotions with their close ones or with in any form, be it during the work or be it in a private close relationships like romantic relationships or the family relationships. But these people find it difficult to share what they feel because they are skeptical about the reactions of the other people, as well as they are skeptical and have the distrust about the intentions of the other people, and those intentions or those fears may not be real. Saturn is also the signification for the pessimism. So the person with the Saturn in the fourth house is very pessimistic because he is very realistic. That's what makes him pessimistic. Because you will tell him that yes, there is something to believe, that even if you didn't get anything right now, it's the higher belief that there is some power, there is some universe working in favor for you. He won't listen to you. No. He simply look at what's in store for him. He will see the insecurities around him. He has to make the payment of the bills. He has to take care of the family, and for that he needs $50,000. That is it. He won't have that higher belief. He will be focused to achieve the tangible and concrete, realistic, real goals rather than chasing the high ideals, chasing the optimism, higher belief. He doesn't believe in that. He has the trust issues. The Saturn in the fourth house person cannot trust anyone because the very nature of the Saturn is distrustful. And this is not bad. This is the quality which brings in the most scientific of the persons, because scientists don't believe in anything as it is. They will dive deep inside every single element and conclude something out of it. So the distrust quality of the Saturn is very important for the scientists and those who are into research and those who don't take things as it is and they like to dive deep, because Saturn is very intelligent. Saturn is pessimistic and negative, but it is not dumb. He is very intelligent. So those who are skeptical of astrology, we often see they will ask you very difficult questions. They will ask you questions which you don't have any answers to. Maybe we don't have the knowledge. There is something which is always unanswered. And that area, that plane is where that higher belief, the intuition, and all those subtle emotions come into play. And Saturn doesn't trust those emotions. Saturn is realistic. Saturn is a very serious guy. And when the planet of seriousness comes into the house of emotions, it makes person very serious. If you observe the Saturn with the fourth house placement, you will see a very sincere and a serious kind of a person, because he is always into something. These guys will always keep working no matter what. They won't stop working for a single minute. They cannot live without working. They are extremely workaholic kind of people, because from the fourth house it aspects the 10th house. We'll talk about the aspects later, but it is the house of work. It is the planet of work into the house of rest. So they never take rest. They are always working. Amazing, amazing. You won't believe. I have seen people with this placement have that robust and untiring workaholic approach, relentlessly working towards achieving the tangible goals, maybe due to the insecurities or maybe due to some other factors, but always working, very serious. I love this quality. When a Saturn comes into the fourth house, it kind of becomes uncomfortable for Saturn. Saturn doesn't like to be in home. He likes to be in the 10th house. He likes to be in the 6th house. He likes to be in the 3rd house. He likes to be in the 1st house. He likes to be where work is happening. He likes to keep working. The work, and work. Did I mention work? Work is the other name for the Saturn. It's extremely hardworking. Fourth house is also the house of your family. And when a Saturn comes into the fourth house, he feels uncomfortable because he is not a family person. He likes to be alone. And when it comes to the family, he is kind of lost. He's not a Venus, Mercury or Moon who will naturally be inclined in the family environment. They would love to be in an environment where families come together. We all have the siblings or the relatives who feel uncomfortable when we have a get-togethers. These are the people with the Saturn in the fourth house, or maybe having a prominent Saturn in their chart, because they feel uncomfortable in the family environment. But if you put these guys into the 10th house environment, don't mess with them, because they are the king there. They feel extremely comfortable. They like to be working. When it comes to work, they are the king. Person having Saturn in the fourth house likes to be alone. Saturn is the planet of isolation, and fourth house is the house of privacy. So when the planet of isolation comes into the house of isolation or private, it's not the isolation like a 12th house isolation wherein we are isolated from the material world. But this isolation is like we are sitting in our bedroom reading book, or maybe we are in a study table having a cup of coffee and just reading the books on astrology. Wow! That is Saturn in the fourth house. These people are very realistic, practical. More so, these people like to be alone in the home environment. So Saturn in the fourth house makes person serious. Saturn in the fourth house makes person loves to be alone. Okay? And we have seen this in the Jupiter in the fourth house. Fourth house is the house of heart space. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So it expands your heart. It expands your love to make it universal. Saturn is exactly opposite to the Jupiter. Saturn in the fourth house makes person, I won't say selfish, but it is kind of calculative when it comes to loving. It is not wholehearted and expansive universal energy like Jupiter in the fourth house. From the fourth house, Saturn aspects the sixth house. Sixth house is the house of your daily routine work, dates, diseases, divorce, legal issues, all that can be seen from the sixth house. And when the Saturn is aspecting the sixth house, it is kind of restricting you in all these areas, which is kind of good. And it also delaying the sixth house things, like if you are into dates, you won't be in dates in early part of your life. You won't have any diseases in the early part of your life because Saturn is delaying the sixth house things, which is amazing. Saturn is aspecting the 10th house with its 7th aspect. Saturn loves to be in the 10th house because in the natural horoscope, Saturn is ruling the 10th house of your horoscope, which is Capricorn, which is the Karmasthan, which is all about the work, which is all about the career. So Saturn loves to be in the 10th house. So when Saturn is aspecting the 10th house from the 4th house, what it shows is the person with the 4th house Saturn would love to take charge in the 10th house, would like to work in the or in their sphere of work. They like to take the charge, they like to work, they like to get involved into their work. From the 4th house, Saturn aspects the 1st house with its 10th aspect. First house is all about your physical body and your personality and all your orientation towards life. So this makes this person even more serious. First house is physical. First house is all about your mindset and how you think about your life. And when you have the Saturnian approach, when you have Saturnian impact on your first house, this makes this person very serious. This makes the person with the 4th house Saturn extremely serious. Now Saturn is into the 4th house, is aspecting the 4th house and is also aspecting the 1st house. So Saturn now aspecting the 3 Kendra houses. So Saturn becomes prominent planet in this person's chart and this person becomes serious and workaholic. Okay, so yes, this was Saturn as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you want to know more about the astrology, I have one playlist called, so if you are just beginning into astrology, I have one playlist called Must Watch. And if you want to know more about the relationships, marriage and compatibility, I have one playlist called as how to know more about the relationships. I will put the link into the end screen. So keep watching. Sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Keep commenting.